Today we're going to be looking at the 2017 Audi Q5. This comes in two packages available, a 2.0T and a 3.0T Premium. Today we're going to be looking at the 2.0T, and that stands for 2.0 liters with a 4-cylinder engine. The 3.0T has a V6 engine. For the 2.0T package, you're looking at about $41,000 for MSRP value, and the 3.0T package runs around $46,000 to $47,000. Before we get started, head down and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I produce a bunch of different videos all about cars. By the end of the video, let me know what you think of this 2017 Audi. Let me know if you think it's a luxury vehicle or not. There's a lot of features I'm going to show you that kind of are typical on a lot of new vehicles, and some are not. So stick around and find out. One of the first things I noticed on this Audi Q5 was the chrome trim. This seems to be typical with a lot of new vehicles. You saw there that there was chrome on the door handles, around the windows, and on the side skirts. You also can see that the emblems are accented in chrome, as well as a couple panels on the trunk. This Audi is known as a 2.0T Quattro. You may have noticed the word Quattro underneath the trim package. That means 4 in Italian, and that designates on the vehicle that this vehicle is an all-wheel drive vehicle. One of the first things that I noticed driving at night, that there is the left and right blinker was showing up in the side view mirrors. I got out and noticed that it did the same on the back side of the mirror. We come around to the front of the vehicle and notice the headlight. First off, we notice the blinker on the left in the yellow. We also have a rim of LEDs on the outside of the light and an xenon light bulb on the inside. We also have fog lights on the bottom. This was my first time driving an Audi. I've driven a BMW before, however, it's not as new as this car. This car, even with a 4-cylinder, has more horsepower than a 6-cylinder BMW that I own. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and open the car, and let's check out the door panel. So you can see, at first notice, there is not much bells and whistles on the door panel. You have the trunk unlock there. You have the window child-proof lock. You have the windows up and down. You also have a defrost on the side of your mirrors, and you have an unlock and a lock button, as well as the side door handle. We come here down to the seat. You have an adjustment for the back support, the lumbar back support. You also have an adjustment for the seat front and back to go up and down, as well as the adjustment for the entire back support itself. As we take a look into this vehicle, we notice that we have variations of light and dark tan trim, and the wheel itself has a very nice leather finish to it. We'll go ahead and jump inside the cabin and we'll start it up. One of the first impressions I had on this car was the weight of the key fob. We have 3 controls: the unlock, the trunk, and the lock, as well as the key fob on the inside just in case the electrical system fails. As I said before, the first impression I had of this car was the weight of the key. I found that it was probably heavier than normally the 2 keys that they give you for a rental. First off, we're going to take a look at the steering wheel. All the controls on the steering wheel. Over on the left, controlled by the left hand, we have a mode button. Cycles through 3 different menus on the heads-up display. We have a telephone, we have the radio, and we have the driving speed. You can control what display you're on by the scroll button. You can display or control all the radio signals that it's picking up through just the push of your left hand. All the meters on the display are typical for any vehicle. You have the temperature control, the odometer, speedometer, and a gas tank. We come over here to the right side of the steering wheel. We notice we have the volume controls and the phone hookup controls. We take a look at the control arm over here, which is the windshield wiper display system. We also have up here on the left, we have the blinker system, and on the bottom we have the cruise control settings. We come over to the LED display and we notice first off that it's not a touchscreen. We also see that the time is displayed, as well as a few other options in the bottom right. We come down here and below the shifting knob, we notice that we have multiple buttons to press. We're going to look at all these. We also have a button right in the middle of the shifting knob that allows us to click on the thing that we're currently highlighted. We notice down here we have about 6 options to choose from. We have a navigation menu, which shows a map. We also have the telephone controls, as well as the radio controls and any media hookup. We also notice that we have a car display, which shows you various options for the car, as well as an overall menu display that you can scroll through and jump to a menu navigation item immediately. You also may notice as the display screen is displaying a certain menu, the button is highlighted down here on the controls. And above the radio button, we have a scroll or seek option. It doesn't click, but it does scroll and turn. Over here above the ignition start, we have the parking brake. The button illuminates as you pull the parking brake up and it engages. You can hear the electronic parking brake action on the back brakes. And to be able to release the parking brake, you have to press the brake as well as the parking brake pushing down on the button at the same time. You see we have an LED illuminated display on the transmission gears. We also have a few more features down here on the console. We have a little ashtray as well as a cigarette butt lighter with a push slide in and out tray. Now we get to the climate controls. We'll go ahead and scoot back this shifting knob. You see there is dual climate controls. Up here we also have a CD player, which is not very typical and common in newer vehicles. So down here we have the dual climate controls. It took quite a bit to understand how to use this. Now the climate control system did not have its own display panel. What happened was every time you clicked the increase or decrease fan speed, or if you wanted to adjust the temperatures, it would just overlap what was currently on top of the screen at the moment. It also had an auto temperature where by the click of one button it would go to the set fan speed, and you saw there that there was a little notch on the number 7. That was the auto set temperature. It also has the regular display of any other car. It also has heated seats at 3 different levels. You also see front defrost, rear defrost, the modes as well, the face, the feet, and blowing out in the middle. Here's the adjustment for the fan mode. You have the top, the bottom, and the middle for each side. Now that we have a good handle on the climate controls, now we look at all the different vents. We have the driver and passenger vent there in the middle. We also have a defrost vent here for the window, as well as a defrost for the front window, another defrost for the side window, as well as just the air blowing out for the driver. Come down here, and here's the headlights controls. We have the low beams, high beams, the auto, we notice this hard plastic here having the Quattro logo, again meaning 4 in Italian. We now come to one of my most favorite parts of this car, and that would be the sunroof. Also up here on the ceiling we have the passenger and driver side lights. We also have the adjustment where the lights come on when the doors are open or they stay off when the doors are open. We also have garage controls 1, 2, and 3, as well as a speaker and also vents up here. You notice that we have a full complete sunroof on the entire top of the vehicle. This kind of reminds me of the new Lucid Air design. Not as fancy, but it's kind of nice. You notice that it has multiple levels and controls to the amount of open you want your sunroof. This can be adjusted by this knob here. We'll come to the back seat of the vehicle here. As long as the key is located somewhere near the vicinity of the car, you can push the button and unlock it. We come to the back. Notice it has the same tan interior, leather seats. We have a little bit of action going on here on the back of the console. We have the vents as well as a 12-volt plug-in. However, in the back seat there's no cup holders. I guess Audi didn't expect anybody to be riding with children. We have the middle seat right here, and it basically is just an armrest. And to be able to get to the trunk, you have a couple options. You can pull this latch here on the driver's side door, or you can unlock the trunk by using the key fob. To be able to close the trunk door without slamming it shut, you can press this button here and it will automatically close the door and lock it. To be able to open it again, there's a button underneath that you can pull. All you have to do is touch it and it'll open right up. You notice that there is a little bit of space in the trunk. It's not a full-size SUV. I would probably call it a crossover or a mid-size SUV. You see that there's a couple car seat hooks on the back of the bench seat. There's also a little cover for the trunk that is attached to the trunk door by just a string and a knot system. You have a couple panels on the side of the trunk. You also have 2 levers on the side of the trunk, which as you pull it, it will allow the bench seat to go forward. We have a little floor panel here. Simply pull up on this part right here and it reveals the spare tire as well as the jack stand. You also have 4 hooks here. If you wanted to tie anything down in the trunk and keep it stationary, you have 4 hooks to do so. There's a little net over here that'll allow you to put small items such as any fluid for your reservoirs, brake fluid, power steering fluid, or even a small compressed air pump that you could use for your tires for low air pressure. Over here we have a little secret door. Turn this knob, and behind it, it just reveals some electrical components that would allow you to troubleshoot if you had any problems. So that pretty much wraps up the car review. I will also be making an engine review in another video. That'll be quick, short, and sweet. That's just for you guys who like to look at the engine and see what's underneath. I'll be going over all the components, just the ones that are kind of primary and present themselves on the outside. Now, if you've made it this far, I'd like your opinion. Head down into the comments, let me know if you think Audi is a luxury brand or not. A lot of these features seem to be on just regular American-made cars such as Chevy and Ford. Well, especially the new ones. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more car repairs, car videos, engine reviews, and just overall variety of videos on cars.